On July 6th of 1922, Deanoch wrote his first entry following his 1-year coma. This is actually a second diary. The accounts prior from the first diary of which he was leafing through. So let me try and make sense of this too, because I didn't in here. He's writing in his second diary after he woke up from the 1-year coma.
Yeah.
About the entries in the first diary, because he was reading through them at the time of writing this second diary. Does that make sense?
His diaryception.
Yes,
Got it, yeah.
exactly.
So he was reading the book and reading his diary and writing a summation of
Pretty much.
said
Yes.
first diary.
Because this would be 4 years after...
her passing?
Well, 4 years after writing that first diary that he was reading through it.
Now he's 36.
Yes. This is actually his second diary. The accounts prior. He talks about rediscovering his old self, who he was before the 1-year trip, his love and loss of Anna, his doubt and faith, and his rediscovery of long-forgotten emotions. In an August entry, he talks about the internal struggle with telling his story or repressing it and keeping it hidden from everyone around. As he makes preparations for his move to Athens, as I said, he moved to a warmer climate in hopes to cure his tuberculosis. He reflects on his fears that the tuberculosis he has come down with will take him soon. He knows he doesn't have long.
Yeah, they for some reason started showing me the future at 1932. It's 1931. I really don't. They said they weren't going to show me my future, so I guess it means I'm dying.
Inadvertently, they did. As he makes preparations for his move to Athens, he reflects on his fears of tuberculosis. I
said all of that.
I fucking do that. Only worsening his conflict of sharing his story or taking it with him to the grave. Throughout the later half of 1922 into the beginning of 1923, Deanoch is settling into his new life in Greece. He begins in March of 1923 to really begin expressing what happened to him. He talks about his real life. He talks of the real life he experienced, crystal clear memories he has of the 360 days spent in the future, and with all sincerity proclaims it to not be a dream but real, unforgotten memories of his experience.
Some shit. That's some shit.
He mentions so many times early on about how he will do everything in his power to convince people that this was not a dream, it was not a figment of his imagination, it was not his brain filling in the void of a year.
Wasn't the neurological issue he had.
Exactly. It was a real thing that he experienced. If it was, he mentioned how when you wake up from a dream and it starts to fade away over days and minutes after you wake up.
I was about to say, I don't have dreams that last for days.
Exactly. But these are memories. They're legitimate memories that he remembers as clear as a memory of going to the store yesterday. You know what I mean?
There's one way to prove people wrong.
How's that?
Tell them what the future's going to be.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking, too. I can't wait to talk about that.
I'm trying to tease it. I know nothing about it. I'm hoping there's something. That's why I keep teasing it.
Yeah, a major part of part 2 is going to be on that.
Yeah, so I'm not really looking for an answer. I'm just trying to tease it. That's all.
That's beautiful. I love it.
What?
I'm going to... The teasing.
I know. You looked at your phone and...
I was looking at the time.
Oh, sorry.
But I'm also stalling to find my spot.
Well,
okay.
He found it, baby.
And on April 24th of 1923, he officially decided to write down all of his memories during that period. After testing his memory and having the confidence in it to recall all of the little details, he decided to do so.
Nice.
In the future, Deanoch, as a man named Andreas Northam, wrote a diary of his life there. He wished so badly he could have all of the pages he wrote in the present, but he recalled word for word poems and songs that his friend Sylvia in the future had recited to him. This gave him the reassurance that he could in fact recall his diary and his life in the same manner, and thus he began writing.
Smart man.
This gives him a kind of resurgence in life. Failing in health and knowing that he doesn't have long to live, months maybe at tops, this gave him a mission and a purpose and excited him, something to, one last, mission for him to have a drive in life.
Huzzah.
He was depressed still.
Me too.
I mean, you got months to live and he's like, what am I doing? What do I have to show for it? What do I have left? Not too much to show for it, but...
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. So this gave him like, oh my God, I can do this. I can get my story out there. I'll be gone. at least it's out there in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So let's jump ahead to the future during his 1 year coma.
Nah, let's just kind of stay in the present.
We learned from his diary entry from the future that when he woke up on day 12 of what would be his stay in the future, day 12 is when he got the idea of writing in a diary about his present situation.
Understood.
He finds himself in a strange hospital room with many unrecognizable technologies. He refers to an incident in the days prior with the mirror. He did not recognize his face and had a little freak out, but he is starting to come to the realization that he is healed of his ailments, that he is not dead as he initially thought, and this strange new world was real. So in the early days, obviously the first 12 days he didn't write, or first 11 days he didn't write anything.
Yeah.
We find out he woke up, he had in and out flashes of people in there with him. Everyone was speaking a weird language, and he wasn't quite sure. He thought maybe he had suffered another resurgence of his illness, which he did, but a little more severe than he expected.
Right.
And maybe he thought he was even dead. But day 12, he's kind of realizing, he's kind of awake, cognizant. Seems like he had quite the fog that he had to come out of mentally and emotionally from this trip to the future of this new body.
Did he have anybody saying, like, little guys with big heads when he woke up, he doesn't remember us or anything like that, and a happy guy just sitting there like, welcome home?
No, unfortunately, all human.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I was just commenting that video I showed you.
Yes.
I wonder if we're gonna. Hey, let's just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So I tangented it off.
It's okay.
He finds himself in a strange hospital room filled with unrecognizable technologies. I did that again. I fucking did that. Whatever happened to this body that he was now in, that he was projected into, he is in a hospital room and being attended to by multiple physicians. They're helping him to stand, to walk, to regain conscious thought. And in the end, it seems as if they are helping his body and mind through the process that was inflicted on it that transcends time. He finds himself in awe of his surroundings, the landscape outside, the look of everything as a beautiful crystal type of combinations of pastel colors, as he puts it. Everything's got a crystal-like pastel color composition, is what he said.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah. He said that everything looked to be made up of a colorless metal of which the ambient light bounced off of perfectly. And some stuff was translucent until you went to touch it, expecting it to be solid or hard, and it was soft to the touch. And when you touched it, the translucence would actually reflect into color.
Oh.
Where you touched. It was kind of interesting.
Gotcha. That's like a no-touch zone or a touch zone.
Sure. I like it. He finds himself in awe of his... Why? I'm not going to do that again. I'm just making a musical number.
Nice.
That's
your intermission, ladies and gentlemen.
As he's led on a walk around by the chief physician, he hears the single name on repeat again and again. Who is Andreas Northam, he wonders.